Hello to all my fellow Destiny players out there. I hope that you are all well. Evan Dini here, and I know what you must be thinking and asking yourself, what is this champions bracket? Did I miss something? Well, no you did not. This is something I've been thinking about and refining on my own, and now I figured I'd share it with you guys. So before we get started, if you enjoy the video or find it helpful, hit that like and sub button. So let's begin by talking about what the champions bracket is and how it will work. Okay, so we all know what Trials of Osiris is and how everything works with it and what the main objective is. Now, this game type is very competitive and everybody knows that. On top of that, when Year 2 Trials was released, Bungie tweaked some things that targeted competitiveness between players, which is great. But I still feel like things are a little too easy and Trials seems to get more stale every week as I find all my characters flawless within 2 days. And this is where what I call the champions bracket comes in. Now let's say your team just ran a flawless run and you are returning to orbit from the lighthouse. Upon returning to orbit, you are giving a message congratulating you on your flawless passage, but it also says your trials journey is not finished. Along with this message, you are invited to compete in the Trials of Osiris champions bracket. How do you get this invitation, you ask? Well, the only way to receive one and to compete in the champions bracket is to go flawless during the current week of trials. Now then, you must be saying that won't be hard to get into. That's true, I think a lot of Guardians would try, but a lot less would actually make it through. Let me explain why it would be so difficult. As stated, the only way to compete is to be flawless. Easy enough, right? But that also means every team that you play in the champions bracket is also flawless during that week. Meaning you won't be playing any pushover teams. Every team you play will be flawless just like your team. I think this bracket would make trials way more challenging for everyone and would push any team to their limit, but with this game mode comes new rules to make things even more challenging. The first new addition of this game mode would be something people talk about all the time on forums and in game, and that would be after every round team switch spawns. This is something I feel like should already be part of Trials, but it's not. On some maps, I do feel like one spawn is a stronger side, so with teams switching sides every round, it will definitely even out the playing field. Change number 2 being a limit on revives, and the limit will be set at 1 revive per player per round. I know some people love revives, but some do abuse it. But with a limit on players' revives, I feel like it would urge players to play with more caution and have more map awareness. Change number 3 being that radars get a reduced range at which it can detect. If you play PvP, you should already know that the radar is crazy OP. With the radar's range being shorter than normal, it will also urge players to play smarter, be more cautious, and use eyes as well as your ears to pick up on enemy locations. Change number 4 being that if the time limit is reached, the cap point will not have a set spawn point on the map. It will spawn at a random point on the map every time it is needed. And last but not least, change number 5, which I left as optional, and the change being taking heavy out of round 3. Heavy can make or break a game, but some people do feel like it takes no skill to win a heavy round. Personally, I feel both ways on the matter, that's why I left it as optional. And of course, this will still be a first to 5 wins ordeal. So let's recap this real quick. So to enter the champions bracket, you must be flawless during the current week. The only teams you will be playing are teams that are flawless just like your team. Revives will be limited to 1 revive per player per round. Radar range will be shortened to a certain degree. The cap point will not have a set spawn point but will randomly spawn somewhere on the map, and the optional removing heavy from round 3. Before we get to the end of the video, I also wanted to discuss the possible rewards. Regular rewards will be given out just like in the original trials, but the weapon and armor will be no less than 315. There will also be sparrows, shaders, emblems, and ships up for grabs. But if you could manage to go flawless in the champions bracket, then you are guaranteed an in-game weapon or piece of armor at 320, possible exotic weapon or piece of armor at 320, and a beautiful emblem. And that's pretty much it, guys. The game mode that I feel would bring the ultimate competitive and challenging play to Destiny. If you could manage to go flawless in that bracket, you are truly a champion of Osiris. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, hit that like and sub button. And I would love to hear what you guys think about the champions bracket, or if you have other ideas. So leave your replies in the comment section below. As always, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.